Hezbollah has condemned Israel's attack in very strong terms, but of note said that Hezbollah will not unilaterally launch its own attack on Israel in response to those strikes on Iran. So we will watch again for how Iran's proxy figures into all of this as well. Chris Brown is our foreign correspondent, and as you know, Chris has extensive experience reporting to us from the Middle East, so we turn to him for some analysis of this breaking news. And welcome back, Chris. Good to see you as always. We're hearing from Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, Israel's prime minister, talking about the success of this first wave of airstrikes. Israel has long wanted to strike at the heart of Iran's nuclear program. Had this been anticipated, the scope of this, what is standing out to you this morning?
Well, just the statement you made, Heather, from Hezbollah, clearly no one at this point, none of Iran's long-term friends or proxies are rushing to help out. That's a very significant statement from Hezbollah. No word yet from the Houthis as well. They've been firing ballistic missiles for many months now at Israel in support of the Palestinians in Gaza, but they're quiet as well. Iran had a lot of time to prepare for this, to move its people and to move its important technology to all kinds of safe places, and it does not appear, based on what we know now, that they really did that. Israel is framing this as a preemptive attack. It's a narrative we've heard from the Netanyahu government many times in the past, most recently when Israel invaded southern Syria after Assad's regime fell. But as you also noted, Heather, others are calling it an act of war, and Muslim nations say it's blatant aggression. Because there was no indication, they say that an attack from Iran was planned or that it was imminent. And I think this lack of a real substantial Iranian military response is also very important. Iran was making the U.S. says, somewhere around 50 missiles a week. They had really ramped up their production. They had thousands of powerful ballistic cruise missiles in its arsenal. And last night, before everyone went to bed, the country was saying it was at high readiness and it would launch a ferocious response. But obviously that has not happened. We're hearing from Israeli security sources that their special forces were on the ground in Iran launching drones, maybe to take out some of those Iranian missile launchers. So have we not had a response yet because things are in disarray because of the assassinations of the commanders, many of whom we understand may have been altogether killed in an underground bunker? Or is Iran holding back for some reason and its response is still to come?
So, Chris, a couple of things, just as we're talking further about the United States' role in all of this. I'll just pull up again the statement that came on Donald Trump's Truth Social account, talking directly to Iran and warning that there are going to be things much worse than anything they know in the offing. Things are going to get worse, he said, and said next already planned attacks are even more brutal, and saying that Iran must get back to the table to make a deal. So as we look at that, we know the U.S. and Iran had been in talks, another session in that set for this Sunday in Oman. How does what has happened affect those talks? How does this new messaging from Donald Trump affect the dynamic? How does Washington figure in all of this?
Well, Trump's message that you read part of also said that a lot of the hardliners that were opposed to making concessions in those nuclear talks have been killed, and that other elements, if you will, other aspects of Iran's government should take advantage of that now to move and to try to cut a deal. But I think a lot is really going to depend on just how damaged they are, how much disarray there is on the Iranian front. It also may depend on just what Israel does next. Was this a limited attack, a partial strike aimed at hitting a few key installations, perhaps setting the nuclear program back a number of months, maybe even a few years? Or was it really something much more deeper than that? The indication seems to be they're looking for a much more decisive outcome, though I think it's fair to say, even as we speak, we understand there's still more airstrikes going on in the northwest part of the country. But, you know, for the Iranian regime, this may be an existential moment. they may feel their entire future is now in jeopardy. And I think, Heather, that's really what makes this a very precarious moment because it's very unclear how they might react to that.
Chris, thank you so much. We'll turn back to you, if we might, for more of your analysis, having brought us such excellent coverage out of that region, understanding the dynamics so well. Chris Brown, thank you in London.